Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us here on KXAN Live. I'm Will Dupree, coming to you from the KXAN Live studio on this very cold start to the day here on Thursday in Austin and around Central Texas. Fortunately, we have meteorologist Kristen Currie joining me here in the KXAN Live studio. You have been up for such a long time, Kristen, at this point, tracking these cold temperatures, but really that's the biggest problem we're seeing out there at the moment.
Absolutely. You know, the cold is affecting everybody. The wintry mix showers that we have are basically out in the hill country. There's not a whole lot falling from those wintry mix showers just yet, but you can see it on radar. And the reason you're seeing it on radar is because our radar is actually shooting up into the atmosphere more than 5,000 feet high. So what that radar is picking up is all those little particles of sleet, of some rain that will eventually and could become freezing rain, and some snowflakes. The problem is down here at the ground we have some very dry air. So as those little snowflakes and those little sleet pellets fall through the clouds and try and get down to the surface, they're running into the drier air and they're evaporating. So what that means is until that drier air is overcome by these showers and that moisture, we're not going to see any major issues out on the roads, which is a really good thing. Now, we knew coming into it, it was not going to be a widespread event or a huge crippling winter storm. That was never in the forecast, but we're still going to be watching for some spots of ice later this afternoon and into the early evening as those showers eventually push west to east across our area.
What people are dealing with today and this morning and really throughout the day will be those very cold temperatures. Wind chills are very low.
They're brutal. I mean, they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really. It's rude.
Yeah,
it's
you
so
have
rude.
to get those winter coats out, dig them out of the closet wherever they might be, because you'll need them today.
Absolutely, and I think I was going to show you some of those wind chills that we have now, because really teens and 20s out there, I mean, that's going to hurt if you're not wearing that big jacket that Will was just telling you about. So 24 degrees is what it feels like at this hour here in Austin with those colder temperatures in the teens out east. Now, it's a combination of the 30s we have with our temperatures and those winds. Those winds are still going to come at us at about 15 to 25 miles per hour. This is a snapshot of what we expect our winds to be at 12:30 p.m. So obviously, Will, you can see it's going to be breezy to windy, and with those temperatures so low, it's a recipe for those very low wind chills.
Maybe looking ahead, what can people expect for the midday?
So the midday is going to feature temperatures in the 30s. So you'll notice there's not much of a warm-up today, unfortunately. Our high temperatures are likely going to stay in the 30s underneath that cloudy sky. You'll also notice that wintry mix icon we put in there. That's because that chance that we still anticipate of those showers continuing to not only push east, but a few more of them out there. And again, that's going to help overcome the drier air here at the surface. Not that it's going to be an absolute mess today, but we are going to be careful of those elevated surfaces. The roads, the bridges, the overpasses, the flyovers, all those that freeze first. Could see a little bit of ice here and there by the time we reach tonight.
You know, we have seen such warm temperatures for different periods of time. It's like the roller coaster keeps going up and down, plummeting so low, but we are expecting cold temperatures for today, tomorrow, and a couple days ahead.
Absolutely, and that, I think, is one of the defining factors of this cold front, which actually pushed through yesterday evening, is the last month and a half, you know, we've had the cold front come in, we've been cold for 2 days, and then we rebound nicely. That's not going to happen this time. In fact, we're going to be in the 30s all day today. Tomorrow, in the 40s. Saturday, still far below average in the 50s, and we stay in the 50s this weekend. Now, it's really important to note, these are just your high temperatures that are going to be cooler by January standards. The overnight lows are going to be sub-freezing tonight and again tomorrow night. So your Thursday night and Friday night, we're looking at a hard freeze across Central Texas. And again, just here to remind you, I know this is not uncommon here in Central Texas, but you need to make sure your pets are inside. No way can they withstand outside temperatures that cold, even with a fur coat. Your plants need to be inside as well. Pipes, you want to drip those, cover your outside spigots inside. As far as the recommended rate goes, it's about 5 drips per minute. So it's not a lot of water, but you just want to get those pipes that are facing those outside walls not completely stagnant. And then again, the people too, right? Check on your friends, check on your neighbors, make sure they're doing okay and the heat's still working, especially those elderly, neighbors. You want to make sure that they're taken care of and they've got everything they need with some pretty dangerous cold like what we have now.
Well, we're looking live at the moment from our Austonian camera. Just looks like a cold day out there.
It does.
We do have a winter weather advisory still in effect at the moment.
Yes, absolutely. So that winter weather advisory continues until tomorrow morning. Now, given the fact that some of our models are forecasting forecasting models have trended drier and we're not seeing as much sticking to the ground. It would not surprise me if this expires a little bit earlier, but it's still something we're going to be keeping an eye on. The main reason they issued that winter weather advisory was because of the icing concerns on just those overpasses, bridges, and those roadways. If you think about yesterday, we were in the 80s here in Austin. So that ground, most of our roads, most of the asphalt, the concrete is going to be able to hold some of that heat. So we don't expect accumulation there. It's just going to be those elevated surfaces that freeze first that could see a little bit of ice.
That's what I just was going to ask you. How is those warm temperatures we experienced yesterday and the day before helping today?
It's really helping. I mean, you think about even here in the city of Austin, all that concrete from those 80s yesterday. Yeah, we probably dropped to freezing pretty quickly once that cold front got in here, but that's going to save us from seeing the widespread headaches out there on the roadways. We didn't expect any morning commute issues for this evening. If some of those showers do start to populate a little bit more over the Austin metro, we'll be watching for the flyovers for those who are new to the Austin area. We've got a ton of them here in the city. I mean, we are the land of elevated roads. But as far as tomorrow's morning commute, it's going to be the same thing. Once we get above freezing for a long period of time tomorrow, then the threat will be over.
All right, well, Kristen Currie is joining me again for an update about these very cold temperatures and the winter weather we might be experiencing. Give us an update about what's on radar at the moment, because you said that there has been some tracking through our area.
Absolutely. So what you're looking at here is a little bit of some light snow as well as some light wintry mix. So that wintry mix is the purple color you see. Some of the snow flurries is the blue color you see there. So these showers are streaming west to east across the hill country. Again, the majority of this is not hitting the ground. But I will say too, in an event like this, it's crucial for those who are watching, whether it's this live stream or watching on TV, that y'all let us know what's happening where you live. Because like I said, that radar beam is shooting really high out there in the hill country, and we're trying to get a better idea of what's making it to the ground. So for those in Mason and Llano County and Gillespie County, if you can send us any sort of report, any photo, video, that would be so helpful for us when it comes to telling the weather story, because that ground truth is way more valuable than what the radar is going to show me today.
I was just, as you're mentioning that, looking at the Facebook comments for those of us who are watching us on the KXAN News Facebook page, and one person said that at Lake Buchanan they saw brief flurries just now.
Ooh.
So that was about 4 minutes ago. That commenter saying that they're seeing something out there.
I love it, and that's what I need. I need to know from you guys what you're seeing in your backyard, because especially in this kind of event where you see those little tiny transitions between the wintry mix and the light snow and how slowly it's kind of moving, that's going to tell me what's actually happening at the ground. Is that drier air, getting a little bit more moist to allow more snowflakes to fall? Here in the Austin metro area, I mean, it's going to take a little while for these showers to get in here and start that moistening process at the lower levels of the atmosphere. So I really don't expect things to get going here in the Austin, even if we do see showers till probably mid to even late afternoon. But emphasizing the fact that the wintry mix is really not the most important part of this winter event. It's going to be that dangerous cold that we have all day today and that we're certainly going to be feeling tonight.
We did learn this morning that the city of Austin is opening both warming centers and cold weather shelters, and we want to pass along that information to you all now. So if you take a look right here, if you do need a warm place to go today through business hours, again, that's about 8 to 5 or so, here are the locations where you can go to get some heat and warm up a little bit. All Austin Public Library locations, all of the Austin Recreational Centers and Senior Centers, the Asian American Resource Center, the George Washington Carver Museum, the Doherty Arts Center, and finally there, the Mexican American Cultural Center. Now, if you do need a place to stay tonight, if your home is just simply too cold and you need somewhere to go, here's what you can do. Austin is opening several cold weather shelters overnight. They are not sharing those locations. However, you do need to go first to the One Texas Center, located at 505 Barton Springs Road, between 6 and 8 p.m. tonight. And then a Capital Metro bus will take you to an overnight shelter if you do need that transportation. So just going to leave that information up. And Kristen, this is really important because it's going to be so cold tonight.
Absolutely. You even think about the winds and the cold we have today. Those wind chills will be in the teens and 20s. So for any extended period of time, that's not only going to be uncomfortable, but your body is going to have a hard time keeping up with that. So we talk a lot about the signs of frostbite and hypothermia and stuff. We don't even want to touch catch those issues here. So I would really encourage those in need, or if you know somebody in need, to take advantage of those warming centers, because the freezing temperatures, not necessarily rare here in Central Texas, but we've been so warm recently that I think a lot of this is going to catch people off guard just because of how quick it's set in.
Before we let you go, Kristen, I know you've been working for such a long time today
No,
tracking
that's
all of
okay.
this, but give us an update again about where the temperatures are going to go, because it's really not going to get all
Yeah.
that much warmer today.
Absolutely. I mean, the warm up is almost non-existent at this point, because we're going to be in the 30s. From those low 30s near freezing, now we'll get up to 39. From a human standpoint, I really don't think you're going to notice that difference, right? It'll be chilly all day long. We're not going to see a lot of sunshine today. We have that chance of wintry mix through the later part of the morning, early afternoon, and then early evening. I don't expect anything to fall when it comes to freezing rain, sleet, or snow overnight. But keep in mind, anything that does fall today and that does stick, it's going to refreeze overnight into tomorrow on some of those flyovers, on some of those overpasses and bridges. So tomorrow morning, it's really not a bad idea to factor in that extra 5-15 minutes to your morning drive, just so you don't have to push it there. And it's a Friday, right? We're all trying to work for the weekend. So I know we want to get that Friday workday over with. Be very mindful of that. This weekend, although it will be chilly, we'll have much more pleasant weather, more friendlier weather with a mix of sun and clouds.
All right, everybody, get those winter jackets out and keep them handy, because you will need them throughout today
Yes.
and tomorrow. Meteorologist Kristen Currie, thank you so much for joining us
Of
here
course.
today and providing all these updates, not just right now, but for the hours before now. We really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, for the latest information about the winter weather, the forecast, there's a lot of updates available on KXAN.com, also on the KXAN News social media app and KXAN Weather social media app on your smartphone, so please download both of those if you haven't done so already. We also have information about those warming centers and the cold weather shelters available on KXAN.com too, so we'll send you there. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here another time. Hope you all stay safe and warm today. Take care.